This is a tutorial on 3 different ways to make a root 5 division of a square. The first 2 methods require a compass, the last one does not. I've already drawn the Baroque and sinister diagonals of the square and divided the square in half horizontally. Now I'm drawing the Baroque diagonal of the lower half, which is a root 4 rectangle. The next thing I'm going to do is draw an arc of the whole square by placing a compass point in the bottom left and the pencil in the top left and make an arc that goes across the entire square. The diagonal of the lower root 4 intersects the arc at this point. I'm going to mark that point so you can see it a little better. You're going to draw a horizontal through the point where the arc intersects the diagonal of the lower half, which is a root 4 rectangle, making sure that you line up your tool so that the horizontal is parallel to the top and bottom of your square. This area right here is the root 5 division. The top area is the complement. In the second method, instead of drawing the Baroque and sinister diagonal all the way across the square, we're going to find the center of the square by lightly marking parts of the Baroque and sinister diagonal. Here I'm just closing my corner so I can get a more accurate angle. So now I'm lining the ruler up and I'm going to mark across the general area that is around the center of the square. And I'm going to mark lightly. So you'll barely be able to see it here. Then I'll do that with the sinister diagonal. And I just want to cross the first mark that I made. So now I've found the center of the square. It's hard to see, so I'm going to zoom in for you. Still learning about zooming. It's still hard to see, so I think I zoom a little closer. There you see the center of the square. Zoom out, and then I'm going to mark it with a dot so it's easier to see. And then I'm going to draw a horizontal across the whole square, dividing it into 2 halves, each of which is a root 4 rectangle or a 1 by 2. So remember to line up carefully so that your horizontal line is parallel to the tops and bottoms and is perpendicular to the sides. Now I'm going to draw the sinister diagonal of the top half, which is a 1 by 2. So from the top left to the bottom right corner of that half of the square. Trying to be precise. Next, I'm going to draw an arc on the right side of the square. I'm going to put my compass needle in the middle point and the pencil in the top right corner. Get it lined up and then just loosely and quickly swing an arc out. I do it twice to darken it so y'all can see it a little better, but once is enough for me. So the point where the arc intersects the sinister diagonal, I'm going to mark that. There's the point, and then I'm going to draw a vertical line through that intersection. Just trying to find the right marks on my tool to help me line up. There. I think I'm lining up with the top edge. Get it nice and butted up against that point. Make sure all my verticals are vertical, horizontals are horizontal. Then make the line. And my root 5 division is on the right, and my complement is on the left. The third method starts with a golden division in your square. We covered how to do that in Module 1. I'm drawing the Baroque and sinister diagonals of the golden division. Also, this method does not require a compass, so if all you have is a ruler or a straight edge, you should be able to make this one. So there's your Baroque diagonal. There's your sinister diagonal, lining it up. The next thing you're going to do is find the reciprocal diagonals of the golden division on the bottom left and right corners. Remember, a reciprocal intersects the Baroque or sinister at 90 degrees. So coming from the bottom right corner, lining up with the Baroque diagonal, making sure that I'm intersecting at 90 degrees, I'm going to make the first reciprocal diagonal from the bottom right-hand corner. Being as precise as I can be. So I'm going to start that diagonal, then I'm going to extend it. I could have lined it up with some of the lines on my tool, but y'all probably don't have a tool like this, so if you just have a ruler, you can do it this way. So now I'm going to do it in the bottom left-hand corner and intersect the sinister diagonal, so I'm going to line my tool up with the sinister diagonal and just kind of ride it like a track until I get to the corner, making sure that I'm still lined up with the sinister diagonal. From that bottom left corner, I'm going to start my second reciprocal diagonal. Then I'm going to extend it to the top edge of the golden division. So now you have the left and right reciprocal diagonals of the golden division intersecting the Baroque and sinister diagonals. And we're going to work with the points where they intersect. That's one point. That's the other point. And all we have to do is draw verticals all the way across the square through those points. There's the points again, just to re-emphasize them. Lining up. Moving until I am lined up with that point, making sure that my that my tool is oriented properly, lining up across that top edge. Drawing my vertical. I just have to slide over and draw the left vertical through that point. Draw your vertical through that point. And the area in the middle is a root 5 rectangle, which can be broken down in the ways we've talked about. You can use any of these lines as compositional aid.